you tell us that this time in a children's life is more difficult than it has to be, even if your child's not in a K through 8 school. And that we are part of what is making it so difficult. So, can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. At that stage of life, for the reasons we talked about before, kids are very status oriented. They're very, concerned with their place in the world generally, who they are, what kind of family they're from, who they're going to be, what they're going to look like, how they stack up into all sorts of ideals, pop culture ideals, beauty and body size, etc. But above all, with their peers, who's popular and who isn't, and whatever form that stuff can take. And we parents very often reinforce that, whether we necessarily mean to or don't, although there are plenty who do, who consciously want their kids to be popular and
I
will
can
do
imagine
whatever's
part of it
necessary.
is like now we as parents know what it takes, right? Like we figured it all out. Like that like some good clothes and some good social skills and whatnot, like that kind of stuff matters as far as how easy your situation is in middle school. So I imagine a lot of parents are like, oh, I've got a couple of these answers. Let me give them to my child.
You know
Maybe.
what? I'm sure no, I'm just laughing. I'm sure you're right. That didn't dawn on me at all. I mean, I've long thought that I did my children a huge disservice by being me when they were that age. And you're probably right. No, you're probably right. That just never dawned on me before, but of course. Um, yeah. I, yes, exactly. I think I always had so much dislike for sort of the mainstream,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't gear them toward it. I mean, I didn't express
Yeah.
it necessarily, but I
I,
didn't gear them toward it either.
I
And you're right. But that probably with normal people are probably doing that. Um, but I mean, look, parents know what it felt like to be that age. They know what it felt like to be unpopular if they were. They
Mhm.
knew what it felt like to be popular. Either way, they remember a lot of pain and difficulty, and they want to save their kids from that.
Mhm.
That is just the overwhelming motivation is to save their kids experiencing the kind of pain that they did or that they caused others. There's that too. And the problem is that when that occurs, and it occurs with everyone, I think, goes through that, whether, all parents, I think, go through that to some extent, whether they're aware of it or not. The minute you start to lose your boundaries with your kid and think like, oh, this is going to be awful because that's what it was like for me, or, I know what it is for him or her because I went through it, so I know what it feels like. The minute that starts to happen, you become a much less effective parent because you don't know what it feels like for them. They're not you. They're just not. And, you take away their ability to sort of have their own life, their own issues, which they can then work on, rather than have you sweep in and declare everything, a tragedy and very often make things worse. And I think parents so often make things worse. All school administrators will tell you this, that the parents are too present now, especially when it comes to the middle school moment where they're really supposed to be stepping back and letting their kids spread their wings a bit. And it's sad because it really is for out of love. It's
Mhm.
for all the right reasons, but the behaviors nonetheless can come out in some really contorted and really not very nice ways.
Catch new episodes of the Mindful Mama podcast and other free resources, including the Mindful Mom Guide at mindfulmamamentor.com. You can listen to every back catalog episode, including interviews with Dr. Dan Siegel, Janla Van Zant, Sharon Salzberg, and get meditations, join our private Facebook group, and more. Go to mindfulmamamentor.com now. I'll see you there.